Hold on.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Okay. I gotta undo my camera. 1 second. Oh, excuse me. My window open.
Okay.
I gotta roll it. What are you doing?
Okay.
Okay, what are you doing?
I guess we are live.
We been live.
We've been live. Okay. Okay, but that's something new to me. Okay, that's all new. But
I'm like,
I just all right. I just wanted to come in and you know who I am.
I'm driving.
Okay.
Oh, now you gonna come back down?
Yeah.
Man,
No, Erica.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. I just wanted everybody we go live tonight. I guess Erica's getting the granddaughter home. So everybody will know like I was a baby mama. So it's my story time. Yeah. Start off with I wasn't a good baby mama. Time in my life, I was arguing and fighting my kid's daddy. I look back on it and how that wasn't a appropriate thing I did. It was a crazy time in my life that I felt like I was stagnant. Now that I got older, I can change it because I know better now. And so I thought it would be a good story time to tell everybody what is Andrea and who she is, what she comes from. And so, shoot, I was like 28, 29, and I was getting a divorce, and I thought it was inappropriate when the kids was playing football and my daughter was a cheerleader, and I was, um, you know, arguing with my ex-husband about his new girlfriend and how I didn't want the new girlfriend to come to the kids' football game, and how I literally cussed him out on the football field, and how sometimes I think me as a woman, didn't really care about the kids' feelings and how it was difficult for them too. So I, felt like, you know, this is hard. I haven't talked about this in a minute. Okay. Well, we got. Okay.
I had to go on that.
Huh? What'd you say?
Go on something. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's fine. And so, was I embarrassed after I cussed him out in public? After I cussed him out, I didn't cuss him out in front of the kids. felt like it was wrong for cussing him out. I feel like, it was wrong for him to bring a new girlfriend after I expressed not to bring a new girlfriend. How people feel like you have a right to, it's their prerogative. But I said to say that. I said to say that sometimes co-parenting, I haven't been the greatest at it. I was terrible as co-parenting. I thought that I would have a deficit co-parent with somebody I couldn't stay with. And I thought that, I knew that God would put co-parenting on me. Like, this is my punishment. What did I do to co-parent? But
you felt like it was no.
Yes, I thought it was a punishment. I was like, God, what did I do? I have to co-parent with this person. But I thought it was definite. But, hey, CC, hey, I'm just saying, I learned I definitely wasn't a good co-parent. I definitely wasn't a good. My baby mama, I was the wife, okay? I learned in that behavior that I did, and what I learned that what I learned that I wouldn't do it again. If I could do it all over, I might have been changed some of the behavior that I was acting out, and I was being so angry and want to get even with him too. Because I ain't gonna lie, I want to get even with him. I want him to hurt just like he hurt me. But what I learned is trying to get even with somebody and trying to get them to hurt just like as bad as you hurt, you put your own self in jail. They're going on doing it. And so I feel like as I'm 46 now, I can do that. And I can tell any young black woman, any young woman, they're getting a divorce, try to co-parent at the best stake can. Because I was always arguing, cussing, cussing, and it wasn't good for the kids. And that's a mistake I made. And I remember, Erica, he was always saying, Andrea, you should not do this. Andrea, you should not do that. And I was like, I don't care. But as I look back,
Bluetooth disconnected.
You there, Erica? As I look back on my life.
Yeah.
Okay. As I look back on my life, and as I look back on the ex-husband, I should have been better. I can admit that. I can admit I was angry. I can admit I wasn't get even. I can admit all of that. And, to this day, are we friends? No, we're not friends, but we get along. And I had to realize maybe he just wasn't the man for me either. And I had to realize I got 2 kids out this marriage. They are beautiful children, and it is what it is. But it took me a long time to understand and see my errors and my ways, and to see how the cussing, the fussing, because at the same time is how I was cussing. Let's be honest and tell the truth. He never cussed me out, and so I was giving him that same energy, and I felt like I was giving him that same energy, and he was giving that same energy back to me too, because I was always, cussing him out. So he was like, "Look, she ain't gonna stop cussing me out. I'm gonna give her that same energy." but it still
right. He was like, I'm gonna get my licks in.
yeah. So it was like I'm giving her that same energy, and it was hard to hear. It was hard to hear, like, and I at sometimes would be acting just downright just nasty. Okay, I would talk about his mama, knowing that how he loved his mama, and I would just talk about his mama just to get him under his skin. And I know that was wrong. I know, in my heart, I know it was wrong. Talk about his mama, and I didn't feel like that about his mama because his mama was a good woman to me. She was good to the grandkids, but I was surely saying things just to get under his skin, just to hurt him.
But I think he knew that.
I think he
Like,
knew
don't
that.
you think he knew that? Don't you think that's why he took it?
You think that's why he took it?
Yes, I think that's why he put up with your crazy self. Because he totally knew that you was just mad and angry, and he knew that he had did something wrong. You know what I mean? And so it was like, what else can I do except for let her get it out of her system? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And and to this day, me and his mom has a great relationship. So it's not is it and and the things that I was saying about his mom, it wasn't like that. I felt that way about her because she's a great grandmother to she's a great grandmother to children. So I just said that to get under his skin, but and I said that the other day. I said things to TC said, not his mom. I said that to almost hurt him in a way.
I'm about to say you wanted him to hurt because you were hurting.
Yes, I wanted him to hurt because I was hurt. So I did things to try to hurt him, and I look back on it now. It was wrong. It was wrong, and it was wrong to hurt him with his mama. It was wrong to cuss out his. It was the girlfriend at the time, but now she his wife. It was wrong to.
But that's who Andrea really.
Yeah, that's who. I mean,
much pleasure in disrespecting her.
Yeah, so it was wrong. It was wrong, and I can admit that now to cuss out his wife and his mama. I cussed out the mama too, and cussed out his mama. I cussed out his wife. It was wrong. But at the time, I thought I was justified because I was like, these are our kids. She ain't got nothing to do with our kids. But she's a great stepmother to our kids. And maybe I felt like I was losing my kids to her too. And so and I was a little jealous. I was a little jealous because I was like, how in the hell I have 2 Black children and I'm gonna let another woman come in my kid's life and take and replace me? Oh, that's what I ain't gonna do. I don't care if I'm the worst mother, they still mine. And I can honestly say maybe I was a little jealous. I was a little jealous too, that I was jealous of her. But I was thinking, and I remember having a conversation with you. You was like, Drea, you ain't got to be jealous of. You are the one to cut Chris's mama. She is gonna be the stepmama, but you had them. And
exactly. I was like, he see them him and his wife see them 4 days a month.
Yeah.
Okay. The other 27 days a month.
Yes.
26, 27 days a month, okay? They're with their mother. They know exactly who you are. You competing with a shadow. You competing with somebody that's not in your lane.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do understand, I totally get how that's difficult to wrap your head around when your entire vision and your mental space is clouded with pain.
Yeah. Yeah. And and to say that, you know, I ain't gonna be honest. I don't. We never co-parented right. We never co-parent right. The kids are grown now, and we still on co-parent right now. He see black, I see purple. We still have our disagreements about co-parenting, but
Y'all be much better now.
we're much better now.
Like when he came
We're
to,
much
like
better
when he
now.
took the kids to lunch and he brought you half of his sandwich.
Yeah, we're much better now. We're much better now. I don't know, is it because we have grown up? I don't know, because we
Because
got money
no
young.
money.
We say, and we ain't no money involved, and that's true too.
No money.
Ain't no money involved, so maybe we are co-parenting better because, you know, ain't no money involved. But at the same time, that man gave me freedom. When I got married, I was young. He taught me about business. He taught me about things that I would never have learned if I wasn't with him. And at the same time, I know I'm a better woman because he was in my life. But I know I was the worst ex-wife. He only got one, the worst ex-wife that he ever had. And I just want to let people know sometimes it's gonna get better, sometimes it's gonna get hard, and I'm not angry no more. Are you still angry at him? No, I'm not angry at him. Logic.
I have a question for you. Are you saying this to say to other people or other women who may be going through something that like you went through, to say don't wait so long?
Yes.
You know, like if it's at any way that you cannot wait so long to get past, like, is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying is I put I thought I was putting Ronnie in jail and being angry with him, but I was putting my own self in the prison because I was so angry
There you go.
and couldn't get past. I'm not angry with Ronnie no more. At the end of the day, I've been knowing Ronnie since I was a baby. We are co-parenting. I'm not angry with him. I'm not even mad. He has a wife. He has a happy life, and I'm happy for him because I know he wanted that life, and I wasn't the woman for him, and it's okay. And I had
Let
to
me tell you
realize.
what the universe gonna do for you, because that's your attitude. The universe is gonna open up to you in a way you never had it open up to you before.
Mhm.
If that's your real sentiment and you really feel like that, and those are not just words, the universe is gonna open itself up to you in a way that you thought unimaginable.
Yeah, yeah. So
because
I'm
you
not.
gotta be open. You gotta be
Yeah.
open in order to receive blessings. You can't be closed off. And you know what blessings do when you closed up and you tight like this? They just bounce off you and they just bounce to somebody else. The blessings come by you and bounce right off you. But when you open, you ready to receive something great, grand, good, beautiful, loving, amazing. You ready.
And
It's like the universe taking a sigh of relief right now, saying, "Where you been, my sister?"
And I'm not.
Because I've been waiting on
you. I'm not angry no more. I don't know if it was it time space in me getting older, but you know, all the emotion, all that rage I had for him, I don't have for him no more. I wish him the best. I want him to have happiness, peace, love, and everything, and money, and everything he wants. And I'm not angry with him. We got two beautiful kids.
That's how you get everything you want. When you
We have two beautiful kids.
Especially somebody else who hurt you or put you through pain. When you opening up the universe like that, it becomes open to you too, girl. Like, sis, it's about to get popping. Is you ready?
I'm making this live to let us sisters know you can get past the anger, the pain, the rage with that person that loved you.
Can we see your beautiful face?
What do you say?
Can we see your beautiful face?
You want to see our beautiful face? Okay, hold on.
Yes. All this love that you talking about, all this opening yourself up to the universe. Can we see your beautiful face? Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Here we go. So, I'm letting everybody know. Yes, I'm not angry no more. I'm happy. I am loving a life and loving Andrea. So I want everybody to know you will get past it. Even if you're going through a divorce separation, you will get past it. This co-parenting, yes, it's a call that bullshit. But it's better for the children to as seeing us as a mother, as a father, can laugh, kiki, and knowing that we are good. And just to see my kids see their mom and dad laughing and saying how he bought me a sandwich the other day. Yeah, just to see they happy with that. They're happy to know that we can be good. They're happy to know that we can not argue, not fight, not cuss, because they know their mama got bad behavior sometimes. I admit that. Shout out to Derek C. Williams, because Andrea Lynch, I had some bad behavior. I admit that. So I can say that I don't have bad behavior.
You can say,
Yeah, I can say. Can we get a sandwich at McDonald's? No logic, no. We can't get a sandwich at McDonald's. But no, I'm not. No. Mm-mm. But I'm saying this to let me reintroduce myself. I'm letting everybody know I ain't angry. I love my Black brothers and sisters. Okay. And I have done some bad behavior. I have got on his car while he was driving. I have cussed him out at the basketball game.
you have lied to me and said, take me by his house.
Yeah, I have lied to Erica and said, take me by his house. And I could go off at his house. I have showed up at his house unannounced. I have, act a damn fool, I have done.
Remember when you used to blow his phone up?
Oh yeah, I would call his phone almost 100 times. I would call his phone 100 times. When I say I would call his phone until he answered the phone. And I was like, I got something to say. And he would hang the phone up on me. And he would just, hang the phone up on me. He said, "What deal?" Hey, Miss Lucky. Hey, Katie. So
up to the business.
Oh, I would show up to his job anytime I would go to. Yeah, I would show up at his job because he a business owner. I would show up at his job and act crazy at his job. And people was like, "Well, who is you?" I said, "I'm damn his ex-wife, and what you gonna do?" So I was that ex-wife. I was that. But that's why I said, did you know he had ex? So I just said.
You remember when we went to the football games and I made you sit by him? I was like, no, we're going right over my ass.
Yeah. So even when he kicked my son out the house because he had a party over there, I told him, he said he gonna send my son to Georgia. I said, over my dead body, you will. So I'm just saying is I've been not the worst, though not, I have been not the good baby mama, the good ex-wife, and I want women to know that's not cool. It's not cool. That behavior was wrong. And it's a little ghetto. I ain't gonna lie, it was. And I wasn't raised like that. But I want to know co-parenting, you can do it. And I wasn't good at it. And I wasn't good at the ex-wife because I was in pain. And when I was in pain, I would act out. But I don't act out no more because I don't have to do that. And his mother and me got a great relationship. His sister, we have a great relationship. And he is a good father to his children. And just because your co-host is a little messy, y'all said you a little messy. So
who said that, Arnie?
Logic said you're a little messy. So I'm just saying So I'm just saying is Andrea have done all the things maybe Derek have showed on his video about Black woman that bad behavior. That's have been me. And I'm saying I don't do that anymore. I think you don't have to do that.
Maybe, do you think that's why you had such a strong reaction to the things that he said?
Yes. I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at myself in the mirror, in the reflection, and I see me, especially when I got a video of a woman and her ex-husband fighting over the children. Yes, I did that. Yes, I was fighting over the kids. I was like, it's war. And I swear when we went to court, I was like, it's either me or you. You going down or I'm going down. And the kids is me. I'm gonna go out here on the winner. And I went in there with a different aspect. I went in there and said, these are my children. You ain't getting them. And it's war. And I'm going to fight to the end. And that was the wrong thing to do. Because I don't think that he would have spent more time with me because he was still working with me. But I went in there to prove my point and to prove my point to him and let him know that these are mine and you ain't going to get them. And that was the wrong thing too. Now I wouldn't change how the outcome came. How the outcome came. I wouldn't change how the outcome came, but at the end of the day, when we had them kids together, he wanted to be a good father, a good provider, and he is still today. But I'll be honest, I wanted him to hurt, and I knew it's two things to hurt my ex-husband. It's called money and his children, and I knew that I was going for that, and that was wrong. That was wrong of me. That was wrong of me, because I know that he never started out wanting to fight me and wanting to hurt me as the mother of his children. But I couldn't see. I could not see but red. I could not see the pain that he caused me. I could not see that he didn't want that for me, and he didn't want to hurt me. So, I respect your honesty. Oh, Logic, yes. Independent woman. I could say that, and the courts let you get away with that, but that's the major problem. Yes, Logic. You know what, Logic? To be honest, I went in there with a black attorney. I went in there with a black woman because I felt like she was going to be on my side and get my point across. And I made sure that that's the reason Okay.
So my connection is
okay. Okay. So Logic asked me. Logic said the courts let you get away with that. Yes, they did. They let me get away with it because I went in there. I went in there with a black attorney.
Get away with what?
He said, I didn't get away with anything. But I never said talk bad or he would have.
What did you get away with?
Yeah, it was. We went there. We went there to fight. We went there to argue. We went there to. Can I say the courts let me get away with it? I didn't take his kids away from him. It just happened that I got more time because he was working so much.
Mediator at first?
Yes, we had a mediator. Yeah, we had a mediator. We had a mediator, and we had a mediator, and we mediated the kids. Okay, let's see, come to class. We mediated the kids, but
and it made sense for them to be with you because you had a child care, and you had the means to care for them. They were all super young. They were only like 3 and 4 years old, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, around that age. And so it made sense because
Frank
was going to have to find childcare or steal to you every day and all those things.
So,
the court did what made sense. They didn't do nothing to him. The courts didn't let you get away with nothing.
No, they didn't let me get away with it.
Did what made sense.
Yeah, because we want the mediation. We want the mediation. And basically, so I don't think I got away with anything, but I didn't go. I mean, we wanted mediation, and this is what we had to settle on because he was working so much. I was at home with the kids, so I was able to be at home because I was a stay-home mom. I had a home daycare, and I had foster care. I had a child care. Yeah.
Right.
So he wasn't
But
he wasn't going to
at
spend
home
that much
watching
time with the kids
soap
because he was
operas with your
working.
kids.
Huh? You know, I'm just, I'm glad
I said
you
you
got.
were home, but you was home running your business,
Yes,
and
I
he
was
worked
home.
outside the home. He would have
Yeah,
been able to spend time with kids like any other working parent. But the
yeah,
fact of the matter is, he still would have had to bring them to you every single day. And as far as I'm concerned, he wanted to raise them like that anyway.
yeah.
Because there were
Because
times when, I'm gonna be
you
honest,
want the mediation. You
he
want the
could have
mediation.
at any time
Too.
said, "Let me
You want
keep
the
the kids."
mediation. I often look. I
He
said,
could have
look.
at any time said, "Hey, Drea,
I
let me
no. I
keep the
said
kids."
that's what I said. No, when I said mediation, I said, look, have him every weekend. He was like, oh hell no. Remember he said that? He was like, hell no.
Exactly.
I said, have
Exactly.
the kids every weekend.
Exactly.
He was like, oh hell no. And I said, okay, so every other weekend. So that was the choice he wanted, every other weekend.
Right.
And
And he could
so
have at any time came and been like, "Hey, let the kids stay with me for a week or
yeah,
whatever." But never did that. It was never his
no, he never
thing.
said that. No. But you know, I can say I can say I look back and I look back on the way it all went down. Now, as I'm proud of the way it all went down? No.
Right.
As I'm proud of the way I reacted to his behavior? No, it wasn't. But at the end of the day, I'm saying to another sister who going through a divorce and mediation and all that, just try to work it out. Try to get along with your ex-husband because it's hard. The kids get in the middle, and then they figure which one they're gonna have to go with, the mom or the dad. And that was hard. That was hard. I paid the kids' eyes. And even me, when the kids went to their dad every other weekend, I felt lost. Like, what the hell do I do with myself? What do I do? I'm busy always being a mom, and then the kids are gone. And what do I do with myself? Like, and I had a friend who was like, "Girl, take your ass to the movies. Girl, go do something with yourself." And I felt lost maybe that first 4 or 5 months, but then I got used to the kids going every other week. You know, I got used to it.
Yes, you did.
And I got used to the kids,
Dre
you know.
got used to cruising and vacationing
Yeah, I got
and being
used to it.
gone for weeks at a time.
Yeah, I got used. But you know what? I will give this to Ronnie, because when he started having the kids on the weekend and start picking up the kids on a regular basis, to me, he became a better father. To me, he became a better father because he was so used to me doing everything. I would send clothes over to the house for the kids. And then one day I said, why the hell I'm doing this shit? He became a better father.
He's
It was
supposed to have
cooking.
clothes.
They was cleaning. And Katie said co-parent can be actually different and still about a relationship that didn't work. Yes, Katie, yes. And 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 I grieved that relationship a long time because I was like, I felt like I was a failure. I felt like my family, because my family believe in marriage, kids, and all that, but they don't believe in getting divorced. Okay, so I felt like I was the scarlet letter of an ex-wife now, and my kids I ain't with the kids' daddy, and I felt like, and I never wanted this. This was my pet peeve when it came to my kids. I never wanted my kids to feel like I was somebody's baby mama. I let my kids. I always let my kids know I was the wife. I was never no baby mama, and that's why I kept his last name too, because I wanted my kids to know we are still family, even though we ain't together no more. And so, what did Elijah say? I said, you trolling my. And so
My mom
I'm
did the same thing. My mom kept my dad's last name when they got divorced. She didn't ever want to be disconnected from us
yes,
when it was school or like certain things, sports or certain things like that. She didn't ever wanted to be confused about who our mother was.
yeah, and I could say that I was so angry with him that I could say that I look at my son and I look at my daughter and they split image of him. And I have to remember we once loved each other. And I even hate it. And I used to cry about it. I that we was enemies. And I was like, I'm never going I remember coming to your house crying on your floor and saying, I'm never going to forgive Ronnie. I hate him with a passion. I know Fred was like, what the hell is wrong with Andrea? I was on your floor just screaming. I was like, I'm never going to forgive Ronnie. Huh?
You would pull up in front of my house and be sitting in the car just crying in the car. You
Yes.
would pull up in front of my house and be sitting in the car just crying in the car.
Yeah.
With the kids in the back.
Like, yeah. And I was like, yep. And I was like, I'm never going to forgive him for the pain, the heartache that he gave me.
Get the kids out the car.
Yes. Yes. And so I can say
the kids out the car, and then I would go sit in the car with you.
Yep. But I remember that time I come over to your house and I was like, why is God punishing me? Why? And I felt that he was. Why did I get a man that I once loved, that I'm at war with him? And I don't understand. What did I do? What did I do to make him? If you've grown from that and that experience, you need to pass it on and don't pass it on to your kids. No, I didn't pass it on to my kids because at the end of the day, me and their dad are not arguing. They see us as mom and dad, and we're cool. They laugh. We can kick it, and they can see us in a good light. And I actually enjoy it when they tell me that dad took him to the gun range. I enjoy it. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, how your dad's doing? And we could talk about it, and we can co-parent. Even when our daughter got in the accident, he was like, I ain't buying another car, Andrea. And I was like, I already know you ain't buying another car. You done bought her 4. So we can talk about it. We can communicate now. But and he forgave me too, and I forgave him too. He have said, look, Andrea, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't know how to talk to you. And I don't blame him. He was young too. He was 25. When we got divorced, he was 27. I was 28. No, he was 28. I was 27. But we could talk about it now. And the kids are well-rounded because they have a wonderful stepmother. They're well-rounded because they have a wonderful grandparents who love you. So know that you have.
You know that there's love there. The thing is that what's the opposite of love? Is hate, right?
It's hate. It's hate.
So the reality is two of you never stop loving each other. Like often people be like, like you might not be in love with somebody, but the love for the person is still there and it never goes away. Because if you have love for somebody that goes away, that means it never existed. That means when you said you love that person, you was lying. Because love does not dissipate. It doesn't disappear. Once it exists in the world, it always exists. You might not be in love with that person, but love never dies.
Yeah.
I'm always there. The reason why you were so mad is because you had so much love. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the opposite of hate is the opposite of love.
Yeah.
So as much effort as you put into hating him and being so vicious, all it did was express how much you loved him.
Yes. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. But I thought
that's what it was.
I thought God was punishing me. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what the hell did I do to deserve? Like, I thought God was punishing me. I thought he was punishing me because I'm like, I got somebody that I once loved and cared about and deeply loved. And when we are going through a divorce, now we arguing over some children. Now we arguing over money things. And I think when you have so much love and wanting. And you know, just the funny thing about it is, I never wanted to be a single mom. That was a scar that I never wanted to bear. The cross I wanted to bear. I never wanted to be a single mom. I never want. I mean, I was like, look, I got a son, a daughter. I didn't want them to be a certificate. I didn't want my daughter to have a baby early. I didn't want to lose my son to the gang members and to the streets. And I was like, I that was the most. I felt like getting a divorce and him not being at home was going to happen to my children. I was like, look, and the only reason I felt that way because I grew up with a father in the home, and I was like, I don't want my children to have babies early. I don't want my son to lose them to the streets. I mean, that would be the most devastating thing for me. And I think that was the reason I wanted to hold on to that marriage, even though I knew it wasn't good for me. I was holding on because I thought that it was supposed to be that way.
The crazy thing that I always felt, I remember you telling me that when you first got married, you really didn't want to have kids.
No, I didn't have kids when we got married. I was like, I don't want no kids. He was like, we getting old.
Right. I think to me, the lesson in that is to trust your own instincts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you.
Logic says that experience
you weren't ready.
That needed to be passed on to your kids. Okay, what did he mean that experience to be passed on to the kids? Logic, what you mean?
The experience is being passed on to the kids by an example. Like now, you and Ronnie are being an example of how you should have been, even when they were small.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? Hopefully, kids won't even ever have to go through that.
No. Yeah. And I have to keep it real to my son. Because my daughter, she don't say much, but my son, he talks about it. And the one thing I hear him say is, Mom, I don't want to get a girl pregnant and have to go through child support like you and daddy went through it. Cause that was woo. Y'all was arguing and fighting over money all the time. And that's what he told me. He was like, when I want to get married, I want to be in the home with my wife and my children. I want to raise them. I don't want to argue over money. And I think that has a profound effect on him.
I think so too. I agree.
I mean, it has a profound effect on him that he tells me that he wants to be in the home with his children. He wants to be in the home. He wants to see his kids get up in the morning, and he don't want to see his kids argue over money. Maybe him and his wife argue over money and going through a divorce and that kind of stuff. And I had to realize how I had showed him bad behavior.
I got a question. Tell me what you think about this. Since you brought up your parents being together and stuff like that, right? Like I grew up without my parents being together in my later life, right? That my mom and dad got a divorce. And it made me much more hyper aware of who I was getting in a relationship with, what I wanted, because just like Quentin, I didn't want to have to go through not being with the person who I had children with, right? So it made me like super hyper aware of that. Do you think, and I'm asking because I think about like friends of mine, that sometimes when people have parents who are together, that they take that for granted and that they really don't realize all the work and effort that goes into vetting somebody for yourself that you're evenly yoked with. Like it just seems easy, I feel like, your whole life when you don't see how wrong things could go when they go wrong. You know what I mean? Like my friends who have divorced parents, they're much more on their shit than their parents were. But a lot of my friends who have parents that were together all their lives, they ain't worth a damn in a relationship.
You know what? I'm not gonna say my parents lied to me, but I think they didn't tell the truth. Like, marriage is hard. This shit is road. He gonna get on your nerves. You gotta, my mom. I thought my dad was stagnating my mom, like he was stagnating her voice, and knowing Ronnie since I was a baby, I definitely knew he was a protector and a provider. But some of his ways I can't stand. But I tolerated some of that behavior because I knew he'd take care of the family. I knew he got a good job. I knew he was going to provide for us, but not knowing who I was. Not knowing who I was. And can I honestly say, would I have married him? At 46, would I marry my bitch over? Hell no. We don't have the same dislikes. He think I'm a little too sassy for him. We don't have the same things. He gets mad when I challenge him. He don't like when I challenge him because he feel like I'm the man. So he don't like that. Even to this day, sometimes I still feel like he look at me, that 22-year-old girl he married, instead of that 46-year-old woman I am today.
Well, he don't, despite what he might think, he really doesn't know this person.
Yes.
Not like he knew that person.
Yes.
He doesn't know this person.
Yeah. And the kids
intimately until you were about 25 years old. He knew you. But now this person that you've grown into, he doesn't know what has formulated that person, because it hasn't just been him.
Yeah.
The things that have formulated this person involve cruise ships and flights and vacations and soccer practices and football practices and cheerleading competitions and fighting with friends and car wrecks.
Oh God. I was a bad driver anyway.
Like,
I don't know so many cars. For real.
Like the things that have created this person, he doesn't know all the details of that, like he knew the other person.
Yes. But I can.
So yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah, and then like even now, if we disagree, because Andrea was like to cuss him out, ready to give him the business. If we disagree, I was like, you have a nice day. Talk to you later. Okay. But when he used to disagree with me, or he used to say I'm not doing this, I'm like, I'm ready to rah on him. I'm like, that's what you gonna do, and I mean it. And I'm like, and I'm gonna call your phone until you get sick and tired of me. That was a little crazy. That was crazy. Crazy. But called his phone 100 times. It was crazy. That was crazy. But
that was a lot.
I can say now, when we disagree, I'm like, you have a nice day. I'm not going to argue with you. It is what it is. You see it one way, I see it a different way. And I think therapy have helped me. I mean, it took 3 years, but it had helped.
Definitely.
It had helped. It had helped me communicate better. It really it had helped me communicate better. And even to this day, even to this day, hey, Quiet Storm. Even to this day, I tell my kids, if they have a significant other, talk about it, communicate, because I think some of my issues with Ronnie is I wasn't communicating how I really was feeling. I was angry. I was yelling on the phone, but I didn't communicate and tell him, this is how you making me feel. This is what I don't agree with this. And he would always feel like, oh, you don't know. You ain't been out in the world. You still young and dumb, Andrea. Go on about that and stop talking to me. And I felt like he was cutting off who I was too, because he wasn't allowing me to be me. And even when it came to, I told Erica this story. Let me tell you this story. I got married to I was wearing weaves. Okay, I still love weaves, wig. Okay, but one day I washed my hair, took my weave out. He was like, "What the hell's going on around here?" I wasn't honest with him. And I love my weaves, but he didn't like it. He wanted me to be plain Jane. And then I understood in that marriage that
my thing is that must have been a bomb ass weave if he didn't know it was a weave.
oh, I would never let him touch my hair either. That's you don't touch my hair. I got a problem with that.
Oh well,
but yeah, I don't let him touch my hair. But he didn't like weaves, and I felt like
thought it was growing out your scalp. He thought it was growing out your scalp. That's straight, huh? No, he a church boy. No, he a church boy. He wasn't no worldly fool at all. He was just as naive as you.
Yes, but what I learned in that situation is any man I'm with, I want to be truthful in who I am and what I am. And if I love weaves, so what? But he would always say, "Oh, you can't wear weaves. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, don't wear no halter dress because your arm big." He would give me a self-conscious of who I was and what I was, and I wanted to prove and say, "This is my husband. He wanted me to be this way." And I was like, you know what? I learned I have to be happy with who I am and what I am. And if Andrea Lynch loves weaves, wigs, whatever, and blonde wigs, go do it. If that makes you happy, But I learned from that marriage, not letting a man tell me and define me or who I am because I wear weaves and wigs. And my person, I know who my personality was. And I tell that to my daughter too. I was like, look, if you want to wear weave, and so what? You beautiful, and don't let nobody because her dad would say, "Well, why do you need a weave in your hair?" He would say that to her, and I was like,
"I don't."
She don't.
And then you'd be like, "She just want it.
She just want it." And I'm like, "Why you upset? Everybody ain't gonna be plain Jane, because I don't want to be her. I don't like her."
You don't want to be regular?
No, I'm not regular.
Like Fred told me how my hair looked when it looked regular.
I'm a big personality, and I think sometimes us as people, we allow a man, people to stagnate who we are, and even my parents was like, "Shut up." My daddy was like, "What is my daddy?" I went over his house, and he'd be like, "That's a hot mess with that blonde hair," and I'd be like, "And." Because I don't live in your house. I pay my own bills. But my daddy can be a little condescending, a little rude. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know how my mama.
Father Thompson like that.
What'd you say, Erica?
Disrespected Father Thompson.
I don't be disrespectful because but he be making you feel like you, because you got weave in your hair, you ain't nobody. That's wrong. And like I tell my ex-husband, Veronica is his first love. I was my daddy's first love. So why are you telling me that my hair look a hot mess when I just got it done? Let's see, he's from the old school too. Like the wife is supposed to be, seen but not heard. I'm the man of this house. And I have, what the funny thing is? I used to hear that all the time from my daddy. This my house. I'm the man of the house. This. I used to say, oh, that used to irk my nerve. I said, "Mama, do you gotta say so?" And she used to say, "This your daddy house?" I was like, oh. That used to irk my nerve when she said that. Why someone said amen.
That's that old.
Let my person know who you are. Yes. My that's that old school method, that old school, I'm the man of the house and everything. And I learned these. Huh?
When you get a chance.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't want to cut you off. I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
My question is, the conversation on V's thing last night about missing, right?
Yes.
So, do you think that that being submissive is something like, because in my mind, what I think is that the reason why some single women, or is and just single women, I ain't gonna say single black women, just single women,
Yes.
have a problem with being submissive, or have contention with being submissive, is because you can't be submissive when you're single.
You know what? This the funny thing about
when you're single, you have to be you're single, you're the only person, huh?
You know what I was gonna say? The funny thing about it is, when I got married, I was like, Ronnie, this your house. You whatever you decide, the family gonna do. This is how I was. I was like, whatever my husband wanted, he can walk on water. He can't do no wrong. And I was a submissive wife. He made the decision. We stand on it. I stand behind him. Did he give me a choice in the matter? No, because he's like, this my house. And we didn't talk about it. He made decisions without even me. And so when I hear submissive, I hear a little control. That's, to be honest, just somebody called me because I feel you trying to control. Trying to control. But if I know this, I do know this. If I love my husband and my man, I trust him with everything. I don't feel like he's controlled, but he got to earn that trust. He got to earn that I feel like he's gonna. He had to earn that I feel like he's gonna take care of the family, and maybe I struggle with that.
When I say submissive, I don't mean submissive in everything. Like, I like the way, I'm not exactly sure who it was who said it, but they talked about being submissive to one another, and that really a smart man is submissive to his wife. And I think it was Harry talked about a smart man being submissive to his wife or significant other, especially if it's a situation where she knows more than him about the issue. And in a way, it's like when we talk about being man, or you talk about being a smart man or a good man, I feel like that's what a good man does. And that's what creates a safe space for me to be submissive. You know what I mean?
I get that. And even
but I think that it's hard for single women to really think about, because you're so busy being the only person you rely on, the authoritative person in your household, like it's only you. So how can you really wrap your head around being submissive in a relationship when you're not currently in a relationship?
Yeah. And
you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you act the same way you act single like you do in a relationship.
No, I don't. I don't. I'm really that girl who likes, you take the lead. I don't have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with a man take the lead. I don't have a problem with a man take the lead. Popular opinion, they think Andrea does, but she really don't. I'm different. I'm a different person in a relationship than I am when I'm not in a relationship. And I do think
I'm not sure that.
You go in the house?
Oh, did I slam I just slammed my seatbelt in the door.
Oh, okay. So
yes. I just got.
Yes, okay. So I do think that that I'm a different person. And you know what? Can I honestly say, with all the situations that me and Ronnie done went through, and even with the court system, even with arguing, the fighting, the kicking and the screaming, it had made me to who I am today. So do I say regret? No, I don't regret. I regret the behavior. That's all I regret. But going back and trying to change something, I think going back and trying to change things is, you wouldn't be the person you are today. And to be honest,
everything.
It would change everything. And to be honest, in a sense, I'm keeping 100, keep it truthful. In a sense, I used Ronnie to get the hell out of my mom and daddy's house. I used him to get out of my mom and daddy's house. I was ready to get the hell out of their house because they was telling me how to be, who to
speaking
hang out
of
with.
husbands, guess who just pulled up?
Fred. He just pulled up.
Where is he?
Where's he at?
Where is he?
Where's he at?
Like the baby. There he is.
Where's he at?
He's gonna come in the driveway.
Oh, okay.
We about to see him. His lights.
I see the light.
There's the husband's lights.
You know,
that's
I use Ronnie. I ain't gonna lie. I use him because we was not supposed to get married as early as we did, but I was ready to go. Like May and Win was driving me insane. I was ready to get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. So, as you know,
y'all don't believe in shacking up.
No, because mom and daddy believe in shacking up. So, I wasn't gonna
let y'all shack up.
No, they didn't. So, I did that little sassy thing and said, look, I'm grown. I'm ready to get up out of here with you and mama. I'm ready to go. And, and we had me and my dad and mama got into it. And they was like, you ain't going nowhere. And I was like, I'm grown. And, my dad was like, you ain't going nowhere. And then, we had a little argument, family issues, put my hands on somebody, but, here, there, now. But, I was like, my dad was like, my mom was like, little bit, don't leave. And I was like, mama, I gotta go. Y'all are stagnating me. Y'all are making me I don't want to be here with y'all no more. I'm grown. And she gave me my social security card. She gave me my birth certificate. My older brother was at the house. I packed
Andrea.
Hey, Fred, how you doing? Yes, I see you. Hey, Fred. Did you have a good night at work? We on our YouTube channel. It's all hot air.
We in trouble. We in trouble.
Okay. So
he said all this bullshit you be talking.
So
oh, you hear him? He said I heard your ass yesterday.
I know
he always said he full of shit.
I know you did. But see, so I said to my mom, I was like, I'm ready to get up out of here. I want to go get married. I want to be with Ronnie. I'm sick of y'all. I'm tired of y'all. And so she gave me my social security card. She gave me my birth certificate, and I took my clothes. And my brother took me to to his house. And then Ronnie came pick me up at my brother's house. And then his mom and dad was like, well, y'all can't stay here. This is what she said. Y'all can't stay here. What y'all gonna do? So I said, we go
from the house.
Yeah. So his mom was like, y'all can't stay here. What y'all gonna do? So we went and got married that night. But we wasn't supposed to get married. We wasn't supposed to get married there. But I used him to get out of mom and daddy house. Because I wanted out from them. And my parents was like this. My twin sister got married and she was gone. She married a pastor's son. And so my dad was like, you ain't going nowhere unless you get married. And so that's what that marriage came about.
You was like the baby. Aha.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And so he gave me my engagement ring Valentine weekend. So I had my engagement ring, but we were supposed to get married. We were supposed to get married to that summer, his birthday. And we got married in that April. But I got out of mama and daddy house because mama and daddy was strangling me, not in the sense of strangling me with their bare hands, but they were saying, oh, you can't wear this. You can't wear tight jeans. You can't show no arm, no breast. They was wanting to show you cover up from head to toe. That's how my parents was. And I was like, I'm grown. I want to get out of mama and daddy house. What he say?
Fred just said in your car. Fred said you was in your car driving on the freeway doing this. I wasn't not like that.
No, she was.
What do you mean not like that?
I was in the dark.
Yes.
I was in the dark. She was talking.
He was on the street yard.
help me here, people.
Yeah, she was on the string yard. She was being safe. I swear she was being safe, Fred. We ain't gonna let her kill herself.
Super
Okay?
dangerous.
Thank you. It's not dangerous. We ain't gonna let her kill herself.
Andrea said she ain't gonna let me kill myself.
Yeah, you will.
Because I know you're gonna have problems.
He said, yeah,
but mama and daddy was strangling me. Hey, mama and daddy was strangling me. And so that's the reason I ended up getting married earlier than we supposed to. And that's the reason I stress to Veronica and Quentin, don't get married early. Get to know who you are and what you want to do and what you're passionate about.
It was on
So that's the reason I told Veronica and Quentin that same thing. Don't have babies early. And, figure out what you want.
on his way.
So, but all that cussing and fussing and screaming, and you know what? The kids are so funny because they was like, Mom, my dad said he loved that Dave Hollister song, Baby Mama Drama. That was my ringtone, Baby Mama Drama. And so I named this line, let me reintroduce myself. I was a bad baby mama because my ex-husband played that song when I called his phone because he said I was a bad baby mama. And
you are no longer a baby mama.
No, I am no longer a baby mama. Okay.
Baby mama, you was an ex-wife.
Yeah, I was the wife. I told the kids that don't ever call me because that little friend was like, "Is she the baby mama?" I said, "Excuse me." I said, "Little girl, come here. Little girl, come here." I said, "My name is Andrea Lynch, and I was nobody baby mama. I was the wife." Okay, I was the wife. Yeah, but little kids in school be like, "Is she the baby mama?" I said, "Y'all got some ghetto ass friends, okay?" But I said, "Little girl, come here, little girl, come here. Let me help you out. Don't ever nobody call you a baby mama. You was the mother of the children, or you was the wife. Okay. So no, I was never nobody's baby mama. I was the wife. Okay. And what? And, I was the wife. And what Abco say is that I don't work out just easy, especially the father. It turns out better. You know what? I know men on YouTube. I know the men on YouTube streets. It's a code word of the black women are always trying to take the black man down, and I think that it's absolutely just wrong. It's absolutely ridiculous to me. But I say this. I said it to say this. When you ain't there, and when you don't understand, and when you ain't been in that woman's place, don't judge her for what she got to do. Because at the end of the day, who it comes down to is that woman have to take care of her kids. And yes, do the court system not play fair? They don't play her fair. But I do know this.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The courts don't play fair. They don't play fair as in the sense y'all think we trying to take y'all money. We trying to be ruthless. But at the same time, we have a responsibility to our children. And I'm just saying, don't judge that woman or that man. Don't judge them because you actually may want to get to know their story and what happened and why they're going to court and why they have to do this. Because everybody don't have to go to court. Everybody maybe can work a deal out. But sometimes you got to put your court in because sometimes they don't understand that we're not playing. They think if we say we're gonna work a deal out.
You needed the court so you could get something regularly scheduled. Like a lot of times, the reason why I remember for a long time y'all didn't go to court.
No, we didn't.
And for a couple. And I remember writing the letter. I remember I wrote a letter to the court.
Yes, you wrote a letter for you wrote a letter for mediation. Yes. I still have that letter. I still have that letter. I still have that letter
to the court. And y'all, I remember you guys only went to court because he wouldn't pay regularly.
Yes.
It was it was that everything was so sporadic, and it was like, my bills come regularly. You know what I mean? Like the rent comes regularly, the PG&E bill comes regularly. You know, the SMUD bill comes regularly. I can't have you just paying child support when you feel like it.
Yeah.
And so it was like you needed to, and I remember encouraging you to do it, because I was like, you need to be able to have a plan in place and a budget in place to be able to take care of yourself and your children.
Yeah.
And so don't feel bad about taking him to court. Like people always feel like, oh God, you know, the black woman is taking the black man to court while we can't get along. Well, we're not going to get along if you can't give me my 600 on the 15th, the 1st, whatever day is convenient for you. But I need it like clockwork on that day so I can plan my life accordingly.
And
You don't do something at a job and then it be like, well, we're going to pay you when we feel like it. No,
I hear such a screwed out, a misconception that he's taking care of you, but no, he's taking care of his kids. And now if I take the money to pay the rent, if I take the money to pay the car note, if I take the money to buy the kids something, I'm taking care of his kids. And that's the one thing that Ryan Lynch can never say. He could tell to the blue and cows come home. He will never tell anybody that Andrea Lynch didn't take care of their kids. Because he knew I did. Yes, when I going on vacation. Yes, I had the kids 365 days, and he had them every other weekend. Yes, I was taking my ass on a cruise. Yes, I was going out of town, finding my oaks and doing me. But at the same time, we had a responsibility, and the court paper says if you gonna be out of town, if I'm gonna be out of town, he had the kids. Okay, so whatever you use the money on, it's to benefit the children. And so if he uses the money to take care of his children, then what's the problem? Because I didn't go to the judge set this up. The judge set the amount, not me. He went on based on how much money he made. So if the judge said I get $957 for child support and $400 something for alimony, he got to pay $1,400 a month. That's what it was set for him to do. And it wasn't it was what the court set for him to pay. Not I didn't set that. They set that. So what can you be mad about? Right. It wasn't me. And I don't. And I would tell this
understanding and forgiving. The only time when you got unforgiving was when he no longer was required to pay alimony. And I don't know if y'all went back to court again, but I remember at some point it was just the child support was $600 a month for a long time.
It was $957. And what happened was, remember we had a recession, and he was like, Andrea, he came to me. He was like, Andrea, I'm struggling a little bit. You think, can I pay you $700? And that's what he did. He paid $700. I never went back to court and asked for that $957. He paid $700 when the recession happened. And I never went back and asked for more money because I said
the economy went back. Even when things got back together, you never went back to the $957.
No, I did it. He paid that $700.
Even when you was working, even when you was having financial issues, which sucked because he locked himself into that $700.
Yep.
And then there were times when you really needed him, and that was really a lot of the support for all of you, and he would not come through on time.
Yeah, hold on 1 minute, Erica. Okay. Hold on. I got an issue, and my little girl gonna have to help me because I don't know what to do. Come here.
What? We're still live.
We're still live. I touched something on this computer, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell did I do.
Are you in the comment section?
I think
your camera's off, but your mic is still on.
Okay, my little girl. Okay, but yeah. So I I never asked for that money. That's he paid $700. I agreed to that $700, and then went back to court. And it's funny to me because
privately,
privately we made a
did you
deal.
go back? Did he take you back to court? Yeah, y'all made a private deal for the
We made a
$700.
private deal. We made a private deal. He came to me and said, Andrea. He said, Andrea, we had a recession. Can I pay you $700? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I understand.
So technically, you could have been a worse baby mama or ex-wife if you would have been like, okay, now you didn't had 2-3 years, recession's over, I need my 957.
Yeah.
You can either give me my 957 back like it was, or we can go back to court and you might have to pay more because since I know you got a whole business, you done got married, you working now. So, and you're not paying all your bills by yourself. So now you don't want the court to assess more. So would you like to go back to the 9? You could have said that.
Yeah. And I didn't because I understand.
Sometimes the only part where I be mad at him is that sometimes it always felt like he kept, like when he got you in a certain place and you was only getting that $700 a month, he started doing little things to put you in a mental state of fear that you wouldn't get nothing, right? Yeah. That it was like you was just thankful for the 700.
Yeah, because remember
really,
when he
you could have been getting almost $300.
Remember when his uncle died? When his uncle died, and he didn't pay child support. And then I told him I was going to child support services, and he was at the uncle funeral, and the child support lady called him, and she was like, either you work a deal out with Miss Lynch, or she gonna bring your butt back in the child support services. And he was like, Andrea, I have a check over there to you, put it in your bank. And I was like, this don't make no sense, dude. And
he was always playing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I always gave him mad props because, you know, he could have did certain things that made it so, you know, he didn't, you know, men will go through a lot of lengths to make it seem like they don't have no income. But, and he never did that.
Yeah.
But I used to tell you all the time.
I knew he was tired
because he think that shit is ghetto. The last thing he want to do is be ghetto. So I knew he was never going to go into no court like, Judge, I don't got a job. He was never finna do that.
Yeah, because you know he got too much pride. So you know he thinks he's somebody.
I used to be like, go back to court.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I guess I feel like, you know, you have to do what's best for the kids in the long run. Like I appreciate now that on some level, you know, like Butchie's daughter's mom can appreciate that he has resources here.
Yeah.
And that even though sometimes it inconveniences my life, I would rather my granddaughter be here with me for a week, every other week, and us share custody of the baby with her than have her up there all the time. And because her mom is a single mom, she's in childcare with people we don't really know.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing why you know, I had to make, you know, I had 2 small children. You know, childcare was expensive. I had my home daycare. So that's why I was at home working. And, you know,
we wasn't better because I would have went to court like, why she can't get childcare every 2 weeks? Because during the week when the kids should be with him, if they had 50-50 custody, if she had a regular job, they would be paying childcare.
Yeah,
and he don't pay childcare only because she is a childcare provider. But she technically could have more kids in her childcare if she didn't have her own 2 kids in her childcare. So technically, they're taking up space in her childcare. So can he pay like half childcare costs? Can he pay $100 for another $100 for the 2 weeks that he should have the kids? He can pay that $100 and he can give it to her. She's watching.
Remember, I called him and said, "Hey, Ronnie, Erica Kids is playing soccer. I want Veronica and Creighton play soccer. We ain't paying for that, Andrea." And I was like, "But Erica said
it was like $50.
I said it ain't that much." And I was like, "Well, Erica said it ain't that much." He was like, "We ain't paying for that, Andrea." And I was like, "Don't you want your kids to be well-rounded? Don't you want your kids to play sports?" And you know, and then
remember why I was like, let them play soccer is because it was the first thing that they could play. But she was already playing soccer when I met you. But then when Quentin and Dougie got old enough to play when they turned 4, and I was like, you should go. It's the only thing they could play at 4 years old. It's soccer.
Yep.
They can't play baseball yet. They can't play no football yet. They can't play, like a lot of other sports they can't do yet. But soccer, they can do. All they're doing is running around the field, chasing each other,
I
kicking
remember,
ball. It's like $60 a season.
I remember, the kids started football and cheerleading, and why, I worked the graveyard and I had to sleep in the car because, I had to take them to practice because their dad lived 30 minutes away from me. And then I remember that he got mad because he came down to the practice field and somebody cussed out Quentin on the football field. And I was like, and your point is what? I said, then get your ass down here and be on this field with these brothers if you don't like him talking to your son this way. Participate. How about that?
Right.
And then that's when he started.
And the one thing he hated, he was like, football costs too much.
Yes.
Costs too much. I don't want to pay all that. And then what ended up happening? Then he was like, I'm going to be a football coach.
Yeah, he was like, I'll be a football coach. I said, you want to be a coach there? Yes. I was like, I'm like, you was arguing with me about the kids doing. I worked extra shifts. I had to work extra shift for that damn cheerleading, that competitive cheerleading. I was working extra shift for that shit. So, and he didn't want to help pay for that either.
I ain't doing that.
Yeah. You was like, I ain't doing that, Andrea.
I was like, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, so I had to pay for that.
You gotta go on and cheer for your brother out here on the field.
That 1 year, competitive cheerleading was enough for us. We had to do that shit again. That was stupid. But
that stuff is expensive.
Okay, it was expensive. But I'm just telling us women, there are, and
like, I think that I'm learning more. Not that I didn't know before, but I'm learning even more to lean in to things that make me uncomfortable, right? Or things that I'm upset about, or things where I feel like life done me wrong, that instead of backing away, you know what I mean, and feeling like, why is this happening to me? I'm learning more to lean into it, right? And to embrace it as something that the universe is teaching me. It's gonna make me uncomfortable.
And you know what?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
when you say that to me, when you say that, I was like, Erica, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. This shit is hard. I hate this shit. I hate being an ex-wife. I hate being a single mama. I was like, God, what did I do to deserve all of this? I'm a good person. I know I do right by people. I don't steal. I don't rob. What did I do, guys? And I had to come to.
And it was funny because the only reason why I understood, like, I didn't understand her position because of my own position, because when we met, I was already married, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But I understood, and I always used to tell Andrea this, I understood. I don't not want to get emotional right now. I understood because I was her kid. I knew what it looked like from where her kids were, because I was a kid who grew up with parents who argued and fought, and I couldn't see my dad for years because they couldn't get their shit together. And I was just always like empathetic with her situation because I knew what my own mother went through. But at the same time, I know a lot of times you was like, fuck Erica, because she don't get it. She got a man. It wasn't like
I was saying, fuck you. I just felt like you didn't understand what I was coming from.
Fuck me, but you was like, she don't know what I'm going through. Like, she don't know I'm in this house by myself. She don't know I'm crying myself to sleep at night. She don't. And my point of view always was like, I know. Like, I fucking know, because I used to be in the room down the hall, just like your kids, where you're thinking, oh, they sleep and they can't hear me. They're not asleep. They can hear you. You know what I'm saying? And they know what's going on. I was the kid. So that's why I was always so empathetic to your situation. Like, all the times that I remember when you were so upset because Ronnie used to take them on vacations.
Yeah.
And you used to be like, and I remember you calling me that one Christmas and you was so upset because you was like, I don't have a lot of money for Christmas, and Ronnie is taking them somewhere on vacation, and I'm just so fed up. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm never gonna be able to take them on vacation. I'm never gonna be able to do the things with them that he does. And the first thing I did, I was like, okay, I just listen. And then in the background, I'm like, Fred, is it cool? Can I ask my friend, can they come up here? Because remember, we was on vacation at the time
Yeah,
for
yeah, was.
Christmas. We was at that
Yeah,
cabin for Christmas. And I
yeah,
was
was.
like, I'm going to shoot you the directions. It's going to take you like 2-3 hours to get here. It's dark than a motherfucker. Don't be scared though. And you ain't got to bring nothing except
Yeah,
you and your kids
yeah.
in the car.
And and
And you
and,
put them
and
kids in the car, and it was like you took them on vacation.
yeah, and it's
You
so
know what I'm
it's
saying?
so Quentin, he loved that choo choo train, and and that was like one of the best
Oh,
Christmas we ever
oh
had.
God.
Yeah, it was like one of the best Christmas. But I'm getting emotional
I
now
got
because
pictures of him still
yeah,
somewhere with that train.
I'm getting emotional now because to say this
That
to say
all
to
those
say
things made me like, go ahead, I'm listening.
no, I mean, I'm getting emotional now because it's bringing back memories and not, they're not sad memories. These are happy tears. But I remember, I did thought, what did I do so bad that I
Right.
gotta carry this burden, and made me like, I felt like at times I'm losing my mind over this situation, and 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 I just think
Right.
about. I look at Veronica, and it was something you said today to me, and why she date the guys that she date, and I'm starting to think why I look at her, why she's so independent, strong black woman, want to have a couple jobs, have it financially, because she had witnessed her mother, um, um, witness her
Depend on
mother
something.
depend on a man. She had witnessed her mother gotta ask a man for some money, and I look at her, and I don't want her to ever feel like that if she gets a decent man in her life that she can't depend on him, and I can see
Right.
that from me, from me, and
Mm.
I it makes me sad sometimes because I know that she wouldn't have been in this situation if me and her dad was still together. So I it's
She might have
you
been
know
patient. She might have been too trusting. She might have been
yeah
overly trusting.
yeah
The thing now is that we can't, since we can't rewind things, so you can only move
hmm
forward, right? She's a
hmm
woman now, and she's
yeah
still watching you,
yeah
right? So
hmm
as you start opening yourself up to being able to receive blessings that you deserve, right? Like
hmm
being in a healthy relationship and all types of things,
hmm
as she sees your walls come down, hers will come down too.
yeah
Because the thing about Veronica is I always saw my mom and me in you and hers relationship,
hmm
right? I was
yeah
like my mom's significant other because I was the oldest.
hmm
And she never really dated nobody or never was in a serious relationship till I was a teenager.
hmm
So I was like her husband, and it was like we raised my little sister together.
hmm
Veronica was like your husband, and you and her raised Quentin together. The thing
yeah
is that she's still attached to you in that way. She hard
yeah
because you hard. You
yeah.
know what I mean? She
She
closed
got that
off to
sass.
trust
She
because
got
you
that sass
closed
just
off.
like me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't she though?
But
You
I didn't hear
know,
what you
me
said.
and Veronica had probably broke up as many times as you and me broke up.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, that's true.
You
That's
know.
true.
So as you do the things like you're doing tonight, right?
hmm hmm
It will show her that there's another way. And it's the planting of those seeds, like me and TC talked about before, the other night.
Yeah,
And like I was just saying on the live with Real Talk, it's the planting of the seed that counts.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so when you're doing stuff like this, you're planting the seeds of that. It ain't gonna take her 20 years to let those walls down.
Yeah.
You're going to make sure of that because you're going to start practicing the things that you want her to be able to do. You're going to start practicing those things in your own life. Remember, I used to tell you when you dated people, right? I used to be like, you'd be like, do you like him? Do you like? I'd be like, would you like him for Veronica?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't ask me what I would do in the situation. What advice would you give your child? The other woman besides yourself that you love most in the world, right? What would you tell her to do if a man was treating her like this or doing her like this, or this the kind of man who wanted to date her? What would you say to her? You should be saying those same things to yourself. If he ain't good enough for your daughter, he ain't good enough for you.
True. That's true.
You know what I mean? You don't deserve no less love and affection, and you don't deserve to be cared for any less than she does.
True. That's true.
I remember telling my mama, I was married before my mom was like married to Ken. I remember telling my mama, like, you raised us. It's time for you to finish raising yourself.
Yeah.
Get busy, girl. Get on the job. You did a great job over here. Now it's time for you to take care of Eleanor and do Eleanor. We good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We straight. But Veronica always gonna be your BFF. I mean, we cool, but Veronica, she gonna always be your BFF. Like, Eleanor is my fucking dog. She get on my last nerve.
Veronica, mine too. Got it shit out of me. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, she's a wonderful daughter. When she gave me hell. She gave us hell. Remember the school was called Miss Lynch, she ain't gonna graduate. Miss Lynch, she ain't gonna do. I said, Erica, I'm gonna go up the hill. I'm kill Veronica. But
we went
she
to
graduated.
High school graduation, like graduated high school. We was like, congratulations,
And remember my mom was like, if Ronnie's parents are coming, I ain't sitting with them. I said, Mama, you don't have to come to the graduation. I was like, look, I ain't got time for this. They coming to the graduation. She said, well, I ain't sitting with them. I don't want to, baby. I was like, oh God, Jesus. It's just the graduation. Why y'all can't get along? But I remember, I was happy that they all was talking, but it was just hard. And I would give my daughter and my son advice. If you want, get a divorce. And if it ever happened, learn to co-parent better than what I ever did. Because the way Andrea Lynch co-parent, it wasn't good. I can honestly admit that. I was bad as a shut your mouth, okay? So everybody think they know me. They know how they ain't got no idea who I really was. So I'm putting it out there. I'm letting you know. Yes, I have done the craziest shit. Arguing, fighting, cussing, put my hands on them. Yes, I did it all, and I'm not proud of it. It wasn't cool. So, just learn how to communicate better. And if you got to go to therapy, honey, do it.
Go.
Because Erica told me I think she told me about 10 years ago. She said, I think you need some therapy. I said, I don't need no damn therapy.
I was like,
Go ahead. Are you frozen? You frozen, Erica?
I was like, I can't be your therapist.
Yeah. But I remember,
I was like, I'm too close.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm too close, and you're not going to listen to anything I have to say.
Yeah. And remember,
it was hard for you to hear me, and that's why I said the relationship a lot, huh?
I remember.
That's why I said the relationship has taught me a lot about.
Go ahead.
You freezing up on me?
Is on freeze? Are you?
Oh, I was. I remember feeling like I can't, like, it's hard for you to hear me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying, like, even when you finally went to therapy, I was like, bitch, I said that 8 years ago. I said that 5 years ago. but you couldn't hear me. Because
No.
at the same time, I was close up on the relationship. That's why I said sometimes I felt like, as much as it was great to have, Fred for the both of us,
Yeah.
I think it would have been, you would have heard me if I would have been a single mom raising my sons.
Yes.
But because I wasn't, I don't think you thought I could relate to where you was coming from sometimes, because I was just always trying to be like, make peace.
I can admit that. I can admit that. I sometimes I did feel like you didn't you said you understood, but deep down, I was like, she don't know what the hell. I gotta go argue with this nigga over some money. I got that. And Fred is not the husband who be like, Fred be like, what the family need? And I'm like, he ain't that kind of type of guy. But Ronnie is. He giving me all the energy that I'm giving him. And I felt like you didn't really understood. And I think not prejudged. I didn't understand. And I think I should have listened. I should have. And I want to apologize to you, because I think I gave you hell too. Okay. I did give you hell. I did give you hell. I cussed you out of couple times. More than I cussed you out a lot of times. So, but I'm saying here,
I got PTSD.
This is what I'm saying. I gave you hell because it was almost, in a sense, I felt like you was the closest to me, and you didn't understand, and I was in pain, and not that I wanted you to hurt, but I wanted you didn't get what I was saying. And I'll be honest, I'm a cursed couple of years, you took that shit, but after a while, you like Ronnie, I'm cussing your ass back out too.
I was like, I don't know who the fuck you think you talk to.
Yeah. So
into it.
Yeah. We used to have knockout, drag out fights. And Fred was like, y'all get off the phone. But I think in a sense, I gave the sense, I was giving you energy that you wasn't giving me. And it was a sense as I was, when I started cussing him out, he started cussing me out. And I think that's where me and you was at. We was cussing each other out. But the one thing I did learn in therapy, and with my therapist, asked me these 5 questions about you. She said, have Erica ever hurt you? She said, have Erica always down for your family? Has she ever betrayed your trust? Has she ever lied on you? Has she ever slept with your man? And I told her she ain't never did none of that shit to me. She has always been a good person in my life. I just couldn't hear her. And when we got back together, when my mom passed away,
when we got remarried,
I wanted to, and that's why I wanted to see my therapist after mom passed away. But I wanted to go in this relationship. I wanted to be different and be different, a different person too. And I wanted you to see the growth that I have accomplished. But I also wanted you to see that I can get off the phone. We ain't got to cuss each other out. We can agree to disagree, and it ain't got to be a long, drag out argument. And you taught me that. You taught me that I can disagree with you and still love you, and I ain't got to cuss you out. And you have a nice day. And I will revisit this conversation. And we can revisit this conversation, or we don't have to revisit this conversation. And I think that first,
Andrea for 48 hours. She taking a 48-hour hiatus on my ass.
Yeah,
Erica didn't piss off.
Yeah, but I remember
ice for 48 hours.
I remember go back to the therapist, said, I can't be friends with Erica. She don't got my damn nerve still again. We still arguing on this same shit. And she was like, well, Andrea, what ain't y'all must be different? And that's when she started saying, look, if it gets too tough, if the argument gets too bad, what you tell Erica is, you have a nice day. Girl, I want to have this conversation right now, but I love you. Okay. But I did. I ain't gonna lie. I commit and say, I went back to her and said, this shit ain't gonna work. I'm gonna divorce her ass again. And she was like, well, right. Andrea,
I thought you said initially when you first did, like the first time, I felt like, bitch, you got me fucked up. Is you dismissing me? That's how I felt. Like, is you dismissing me from the class right now? Wait a minute. And so it made me more like combative, because I was like, did she like, because how it would come across is you would always say, you know what, Erica, I don't want to talk about this right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and hang up because I don't want to talk about this. I was like, the fuck is going on? I was tripping.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, and once again, it go back to like what Harrison said about having clear communication, right?
Yeah.
If the communication is like, I feel where you're coming from, I have a difference of opinion, I don't want to argue with you. How about we put this on ice, right? And stop in this conversation for right now until we can come back with cooler head and we simmer down. If that is communicated to me, then I'm like, okay. But at first, how it felt was you just dismissing me.
Because and I said, I'm telling her I don't want to have this conversation, and she was saying, well, how did you say it, Andrea? And she said, well, just give her a little attitude. I said, you damn right I gave her an attitude.
It was just like, and that's this conversation right now.
Yeah, and so that's why I was saying, I'm like, Erica, I don't want to argue with you. I want to do something different. And she gave me like, what do we call them, cold words, when I get a little triggered, she called them. And when I would say, Erica, I want to have this conversation, that's when I said to you, these are what I've been learning in therapy. I want to maybe revisit this conversation, but I'm too heated, I'm too hyped up, and I don't want to start arguing with you. And I want us to do it different this time. And to this day, I think we have done it different. I think we're better women to this day. I think, and don't get me wrong, I think them years that you spend at my house, them years that I was a single mom, them years that you was most closer than my own family and my sister. And I don't ever think I would have made it through them years if you and Fred and the kids wasn't in my life. Because I was drinking, at night when the kids was going to bed, I was drinking. And I can't honestly say if you didn't come in my life, would I be drinking or be probably an alcoholic? But I after a couple months, I wasn't drinking like that no more. And I appreciate you, because I didn't really know you like that, because I was hanging. I see Fred, but I didn't know you. But when you start working, when you start hanging out, and I appreciate, if I never told you that, I appreciate you and Fred in my life, because actually what I have learned, y'all been married a long time. You can be co-parenting. You can compromise. You can submit. And the one thing I learned about Fred Hunter, and I will tell anybody this, if I ever get not married, a commitment ceremony, okay, because I ain't doing that marriage shit, but a commitment ceremony, Fred Hunter would walk me down the commitment ceremony aisle, okay, like on the beach, okay, because he's the one upstanding man that I have seen. And I got some other men in my life, but he's the constantly one in my life who have shown me, no matter the good, the bad, the ugly with your family, you can still be there for them. And Fred has been there for me and my children. Right. And I want to thank you. We don't really have a man who's somebody's best friend and say, look, I'm gonna take her family on too, because that don't happen in some of the black community. I mean, and if that's your girl, that's your best friend, them her kids. Oh,
it used to happen back in the. That's something that used to happen back in the day.
Yeah.
Where if one person, if a dad was buying, skates for his kids, he was buying skates for everybody. If he was buying ice cream for his kids, he was buying ice cream for everybody on the block. Not to say that those guys don't exist, but it just used to be much more prevalent.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Veronica and Quentin, at the end of the day, yes, their daddy has played a majority part in their life, but the one thing in their life was Fred Hunter too. Okay, and my kids.
She just called us the other night. She just called and talked to him about her car.
Okay, so so I feel like at the end of the day, me, you, Ronnie, Fred, we have all raised these kids together, and it takes a village to raise kids. And
when we broke up, I was like, I'm co-parenting right with Andrea, These kids can still call me anytime.
Yeah, because I'm remember see, I mean the car it got her. I said, didn't I tell y'all get a AAA car? You know, damn, don't listen to me. And they was like, what are you supposed to do? I ain't coming.
Like, where's your mom?
And I said, well, call your other mama. Okay, that's what I'm talking. Call your other mama.
You can't call your mom. My mama ain't coming. We called her and she said she ain't coming to help us. She got the other kids in her house and she ain't coming. I'm like, this is for the birds. What the hell?
I'm gonna be honest. If me and you then never talk for the rest of our lives, I thank you for being there for my children that night when they needed you. And at the end of the day, I knew you was gonna be there. I knew. I said, she brought y'all home. They was like, yeah. She asked about me. They was like, no. But I knew that you was gonna be there, because at the end of the day, we can argue.
I was like, what would Fred Hunter do? Fred Hunter would tell I remember I had to tell that tow truck driver, I was like, Veronica had 2 flat tires, not one flat tire.
Yes.
2 flat tires.
Yeah.
And you only have 1 spare. So I was like, I remember telling that tow truck driver, I was like, look, do this for me.
Mm-hmm.
Change whichever tire has the biggest hole in it. Yep. Right? Put the spare on that. Take the other tire and fill it up as much as you can. Mm-hmm. Right? And after I went on my phone, I Googled a tire place that wasn't too far from where we were. And I was like, this is what we gonna do. You're gonna have to park this truck and lock it up outside the tire place. And you're gonna get up first thing in the morning and be here when they open. So, and your car will be right outside. They'll help you get it inside the lot so you can get that tire changed. Or they'll come out here to the street if you buy a tire and change that tire. Because I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, what we gonna do? You got 2 flat tires and only 1 spare. I was like, what are we gonna do? Veronica was already in my truck ready to cry. Yeah. She was already like, what am I gonna do? And I'm like, Quentin behind me, I put Dougie in the truck with Quentin so they could ride behind us. And then I'm like, this fool ain't even got no lights on. It's the middle of the night. Why you ain't got no lights on? But
I knew.
And everything worked out the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was like,
worked out. And just like I know for
he was like, Erica came through. He was like, Erica came through. She handled everything. I said, I know she would. I know who my friend is. Why you think we friends? Because the one thing about her is, when I say when we go on vacation, she handles the business when I'm on vacation. I'm like a baby. What we gonna do? Here's the point best, you know. So I knew, and
she had my.
Thank you. But I knew when they came in the house, they said Erica took care of it. I knew. I said, call your other mama. She'll take care of y'all. But I knew the kids called that you was go, even though me and you wasn't talking, you was gonna be that friend who will see about my kids. And because we ain't talking, don't mean I don't got love for Butchie and Dougie, and love. Yeah, you didn't have love for one.
That's right. I've known him was 2 and 3 years old.
Yeah,
there ain't nothing that we would go through that would damage. The only thing that would damage my relationship with them is my relationship with them, and probably even still, they get on my nerves all the time. Okay, let me tell you something. Andrea's kids are just like Andrea. They talk bad. They talk hellish. They get on my nerves all the time, but it be all love though. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing neither one of them has never done, as much as I be like, I'm done and I'm over it, they always come back and still be respectful and still be cool. You know what I mean? But they just know that I'm just not the friend I'm not the person that's going to bite my tongue about something if you're not doing your mom right. Or if you're making your mom's life harder than it really is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm sorry. You know, she gave me some. Nah, she don't gave me some heartache and pain. Okay, but yeah, I think it would be right if Veronica lives to give her mama some heartache and pain. It's just who she is, and I have currently learned to handle that and deal with that. So I appreciate this.
And let's be clear.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. My kid, you know, like maybe not as much. Maybe my oldest kid as much, because my older kid is like 2 years older than our younger kids, or 3.5 years older than our younger kids.
Yeah.
My youngest kid and her oldest child are the same age. And
Yes.
let's be clear, I was super strict at the time. Like, I
Mhm.
might be a little bit more chill now, but I was super strict back when my kids were little. And
Yeah.
Andrea was like, let the kids live.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
I
was
remember Dougie came over on the
strict
summer, and I was like,
dad.
"Oh, girl, they went to the mall." You was like, "When? Did you take them?" I said, "No, they won't. They got on the
I was
bus."
like, you took them to the mall by themselves?
I was like, "Yes,
Like,
Erica."
oh my God.
But
I was like,
and
oh God.
I
Oh
think
God, help me. I was like, my
reason,
baby outside in the street alone
but,
at the
but
mall. Oh God.
I think I think I wanted my kids to have freedom because my mom and dad was so strict on me and wouldn't let like the world's gonna come and get us, like the devil's gonna come and get us.
Right.
And I was like, that's bullshit, and that's not true. But that's why I was so lenient and let Veronica and Quentin do some things, let them learn how to ride a bus, let them learn how to do things, because I didn't learn how to ride a bus until I was like, what, 30, 36, 36. Remember, I was 36 when I learned how to ride a bus.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, and I hated that damn bus. I never ride a bus again in my whole life. That experience when my car blew up was, I thought God was punishing me at the time too. I said, Jesus, what led me to this? My car blew up. And I had to learn. I learned the bus because my daughter was like, she helped me find a bus schedule and helped me. Veronica was like, she my right hand. She helped me find a bus schedule. I had to catch 2 buses, but I damn sure thought God was punishing me at the time too, because my car blew up. Because I was like, what? I'm so mad. I'm riding 2 buses. It was raining. I hate being wet with on a bus with clothes are wet. I hated that shit. That was the worst year of my life, and I cried too. But I know you said Andrea, the universe is gonna make it better. I was like, bitch, stop telling that shit. This shit ain't right. But she kept saying it's gonna be all right. You kept saying it's gonna be all right. I was like, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. I'm not happy. I hate my life. And you was like, it's gonna be better. I said, I'm riding 2 buses. I'm a parent working 2 jobs. I don't know why I asked for all this, but this is overwhelming. And I think I used to be more angry. I used to be more angry because I felt like Ryan left me out here to the wolves and to the earth with nobody out here with me. And I think that's why I was more angry too.
Knowing he knew how naive you were.
Yes. To a bunch of girls who was using, it was always taking advantage of me because I didn't know it. I didn't trust women that well. And when people say, they ain't my friend, but they really were my damn friend, I didn't understand. I didn't understand that. And so, I felt like I was out here because because remember I left the church at 22 and my mom and dad wouldn't have nothing to do with me because of who I married and left the church. And so, and I damn sure saying I ain't never come back to church either because I'm grown and want to do my own thing. So to have that lesson, not have my parents, because remember I told you my mama, I had the babies and I called, Ronnie called her and said that Andrea having babies, and she was like, tell her good luck. But she didn't come to no hospital. She didn't come to no hospital.
And in her defense, she might not have been able to.
Yes, I agree with that.
In her defense, what might she have been risking to show up to the hospital? If your dad was as adamant as he was about his house and being in control of his household, if he tell her she ain't going to no hospital, and they was so dead set against the situation that was going on with you and Ronnie, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was she gonna be able to do that? She wasn't gonna be able to show up to no hospital.
She wasn't, and it took me going to therapy because I remember them last maybe 6 months before my mom died. I was so angry with her, Erica, and it was times I would see her and I just wanted to give her the business. But them last 8 and 9 months that I knew she was on decline, I felt something different. I felt like all the anger and all the hurt that me and her done went through, I felt sad because I felt like the Lord. I'm about to get
Mm. Take your time, sis. We ain't in no rush.
I felt like I was so angry with her, and I felt like she hurt me as her daughter, and I felt like what do a daughter do when she done it all for her mother? You know, you wait and get married, you have children,
Right.
you try to be a good citizen as she raised you, and to be the person you are, and all you do is marry the man that she don't really care for. And
Right.
I think
Do that make you a bad person or a bad? No,
no, it don't
it
mean
doesn't.
it don't mean a bad person. And I had to understand that ugh, I had to understand I
I
was
feel
so
like I was like often in her own precarious situation when it
yes.
came to
Mhm.
your dad in the church.
Yes.
I
And
think that there were a lot of things that happened that she didn't necessarily agree with, but it
mhm,
was the marriage and the relationship that she signed up for.
yes. And you know,
You know what I mean?
I
So
often
in her
I
mind,
often
she
wonder.
had to respect,
Mhm.
huh?
I I often wonder because I was so mad with her, and I thought, you know,
Hmm.
I remember that I knew that she was dying, but as my siblings, they couldn't wrap their head around it that she was dying. And I remember
Hmm.
having this conversation with her. She was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I thought about
Mm.
all the wasted time that I didn't go see her, all the
Right.
wasted time, all the wasted time that I um all the wasted time that we argued, we fought, and all the wasted
Right.
time that
But it
that
wasn't just you. It
no,
wasn't
it was
always in your control. I should
mhm,
say it wasn't always something that was in your control. Because I remember a lot of years when we first started being friends, where it wasn't even a comfortable situation to go by your parents' house, like how we
yeah,
did later and stuff like that.
mhm,
Like it
yes,
wasn't a lot of talk of you being like, "Oh, I'm just gonna swing by my mom and daddy house." Like that came later.
yeah,
You know what I mean? and
I just
and I remember it kind of beginning with in some ways with like the kids' graduations, right?
mhm,
I remember your mom riding in the car with me to the
mhm,
graduate to like it was it like elementary graduation or junior high?
it was
I think it was like elementary school, like
yeah, this is
elementary
great. This is
school
great.
graduate, right?
Mhm, mhm,
And it like started with those types of things,
yeah,
you know. And I remember, if I'm not mistaken, you were there because did you ride with us? I think for some reason I remember her in the
no,
car with
my
me.
mom rode with you, and I drove because I was waiting for Ronnie to get the tickets and stuff.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And she I waited and she rode there with me. And I
Yeah,
remember we talked in the, in the car, and we talked about, like she knew Ronnie was gonna be there, and we,
mhm,
talked about real stuff. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And I always respected Mother Thompson because she was a real chick. You feel me? Despite all the church stuff and the husband stuff and all that, when you got her alone away from other people and stuff like that,
mhm,
she was just herself.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And she was cool as shit. But
mhm,
I cannot. I can only imagine what it's like to have all like you have a taste of it, right? Of
mhm,
having the external forces around you always dictating things for you, telling you what to do, what to wear, what to think, and all those types of things, right?
mhm,
One thing that we don't know about is we don't know what it feels like to have outside entities tell us that we shouldn't love and support our children.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't share that experience with her. You don't share that experience with her of having a church or an entity or something that we hold in high esteem and that we respect telling us that it is our position to treat our children like they never existed because they did something wrong. Like I would say for most mothers, that's not even in a person's nature. And I don't ever think for 1 second it was in hers. But I think that she was the type of woman that did what she had to do to survive, even in her own space.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's like,
I'm not,
I don't want to fight with
I'm
the husband. I don't fight with the
not
church.
mad with her.
I don't want to fight
I
with
was angry with
everybody.
her. I was angry
No,
with
I
her.
know you're not mad. I know you're not mad. But I just understand with, you know, like it's like the same thing, you know, time that we, you know, mourn for the time loss and like I mourned for her whole situation. You know, I remember when everything happened and we started talking again, and I was kind of like, she free now.
Yeah.
She free to spend as much time with you as she want to. She free to have whatever kind of conversations that you want to have with her. She's free. She's not under no watchful eye of anyone and don't have to do nothing that somebody else says. You know what I'm saying? She can kick it with you
It's so.
every freaking day now if she want to. And I believe with my whole heart that she does. I believe that the kid that she was without for all those years, I believe that her spirit spends the most time on your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows that you're the one who needs her more than anybody right now. Probably you and Marcus.
And you know, I think
You
about it.
know?
My mom was a beautiful woman, gorgeous woman, and I think how she taught me how to take care of kids, because I learned that from her, because she had a daycare and we lived in Arizona. I learned the patience. I learned to multitask. I learned all these things from her. I learned all these things from her, and
You learn how to survive from her.
I learned how to survive from her. And I miss her every day. I miss her being here physically every day, and how I was angry that diabetes, you know, and congested heart failure, you know, took her away, you know, and how it makes me get my own shape, get my own health in better shape too, and better, you know, because I think about my children, and I think about my dad. This, because let me tell you something, my dad is the most strongest man. He tough, he rough, he a little arrogant like I am, but to see my dad to break down at that hospital, um, it ain't nothing I ever seen in my life. My dad's the most toughest man. I'm, you know, this he's always been that protector, that provider, and to see him break down at that hospital, it's so emotional for me. But and to see my dad, me and my dad argue about bringing mom home or not bringing mom home, and I had to come to the resolution. My dad was like, I'm her husband. I'm gonna do what's best for her. And I'm like, but I'm her daughter. I know what's best for her. I take care of these kind of people. And I had to come, and I don't know if I told you, but I was like, this is bullshit again. Here we at it. We at an impasse one more time that my dad get to make a decision, and I don't get to take part in it. But what I had to understand is my mom, that's her husband. That's her husband.
And she trusted him.
And she trusted him
Yeah.
with her life.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and
And he probably knew, you know, they have like most parents, they have conversations that sometimes you don't know about. And she probably had already said to him before that I don't want to do this like this.
it's
You
you
know,
know
because I remember you came home for a minute at some point, And I remember you knew, from taking care of my one client that I had and me showing you how to deal with her and, and her and diapering her and cleaning her and giving her bed baths and stuff like that. You knew how to do all of that. And she came, and your mom came home for a little while. She was home, and
Yeah.
you were. It was like I remember thinking, how empowering is that? Is that the one person who knows what to do is the one daughter that y'all really don't have a close relationship with anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one who knows what to do right now.
Mm-hmm. And it's the first time. It's the first time my dad. It's the first time my dad was like, when I bought all the stuff that she needed and I shipped it at her house. It's the first time in my life my dad was like, "Thank you, thank you, daughter." And even when, I'm like, "Thank you." That's what they saying, but I would take that. What they say, prayer change. Right. They say it changed, so I'll take that. But I'm sad that she's not here, and I look at my dad, and I'm sad that he don't have her. But you always think your mom's gonna live forever, and
parents gonna live forever. Period.
Parents gonna live forever. And
I'm gonna be 25 though.
Okay, 46, 47.
Mind you,
okay. Remember, you 1 year older than me, girl. You 1 year older than me.
I feel like I'm 25 forever. Like I don't feel different. Well, I do feel different because my body different, but I don't know. I never thought I would be in a position that I never thought I would be moving into my parents' life space. I never thought my parents would be moving into my grandparents' life space.
Yeah.
I never thought I knew at some point that graduation would happen, but I never thought it would actually happen. It seems so far away.
Yes. And
but my mama used to always tell me, the clock starts ticking faster. Like every year that you get older, it feels like the clock is ticking faster.
Yeah. And I do say to anybody who has heartache with parents and heartache with parents who are from the old school, don't waste no time, because you only get one mother. And if I could not change what I am or who I am, the only thing I miss is I wish I had more time with her. And that makes me sad. That makes me sad. So
question. I got a question for you. What if I know you recently said that after we came from our spa trip, you told your dad about it. Thunder Valley is his stomping ground. That's where he likes to kick it at when he got a couple of dollars and some leisurely time. When you said you had a conversation with him, and his first reaction was to say, "Why you didn't call me?" Right?
Yeah.
It made me think that would we be here having that conversation? Would you be there having that conversation if your mom was still here?
Would I be having the conversation with my dad? My dad, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
My mom, see, Miss Thompson, I love her to death, but my dad has bad behavior, and that's just who he is. But my mom we always went to her when he told us no, and she's always been when he get on our nerves.
I mean, it feels like that mom's mortality has softened him a bit.
Yes,
and seeing you in action during mom's last months here has softened him up a bit.
Yes.
And so when I say, do you think that conversation happens without what happened to your mom? That's what I mean. Like it seems like those things have softened him up a bit. COVID-19 happened, and you was the first one to think, "Oh, my dad is in a high risk group. I just lost my mom. I should buy my dad some some N95 masks.
Mhm.
And you didn't call him and
No,
ask him if he needed them. You just bought them. And then when they came, you took them over there. You know what I'm saying? And I remember you sending me the picture of you and him together. I don't know when the last time I seen a picture of you and your, I don't know if I've ever seen a picture of you and your father together, of you grown.
no,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
I know you
And,
used
and,
to
and
eat
actually, I
and
actually
you would
called you
go
because I
there.
cried that day. I cried that day when I went over there because it was the first time. It was the first. It was. It was. It felt like it was the first time since I was a teenager that me and him had a moment. Because I got married at 22, and I've been gone from home, and so it was like almost. It was. I felt like it was a moment, but what makes me sad about that moment is my mom wasn't here to see it.
She
And
was.
Well, she was here. It's right here in my chest, right here. But I felt like
She saw
I felt like
the entire thing.
I know she
Was
did.
right there pushing
I
y'all
know she
like
did. But
when y'all
in my
took
mom,
that picture like this, your mama was right there going like this. She was pushing him like, get closer, put your arm around her. Your mama was right there. And that's why I was saying, do you think that do you think that conversation happens with her in a physical body here? Like
no.
sometimes you can connect more to it. Yeah, I think that you had a
No.
relationship with your mom, and I think that in a weird way, your dad thought he had a connection with you through your mom, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
your mama can go see you and the kids, and then she gonna come home and she gonna tell me all about what
Yes.
happened, how you
Yeah.
doing, what your place look like, but how the
Mm-hmm.
kids doing. She tell me what
Mm-hmm.
happened at the graduation. I'm so vicariously, I'm allowed to be connected to you through my wife, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But without your mom there, he has to do the work,
Yes.
right?
And
To recreate this relationship with you.
my dad is a little snappy. He'll tell me he don't like my hair. He don't like this a hot mess. Sometimes he'd like, you need to get your weight under control because them diabetes gonna be coming. He really like he really like that shade that makes him
He
mad
has
because he ain't got no filter. Let's just
he
keep it
has no
100.
filter.
No, he doesn't.
Who does that?
The apple
Who does
don't
that
fall
sound
from the
like?
tree. It's me. Okay, it's me. Yes. Do I have no filter? Yes, he does.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes, we're a little like and we are stubborn. We're hard sometimes. Yes, me and him are, maybe that's why we don't get along that good, because we're just alike, and I get it. But
Right.
I love my dad. I love my dad, and I love my mom, and the structure they gave, the structure. All I'm saying, the structure of the family. It almost, since they gave a illusion. I think this, as parents and we should be honest with our children. Like, life is hard sometimes. Being married is hard. This shit ain't easy. You're gonna fight over finances. I think if my mom and dad would have gave me the real of a marriage, a real of the peaks and the valley, the real of, you're gonna have financial, sometimes you're gonna be broke, the real of all of that, maybe I would have done it different, and maybe I would have understood. But I'm trying to be that with my own two kids, because not that I felt like they gave me a disservice as their child, but I felt like as an adult woman, I was learning how to be a wife on the fly, instead of being maybe a little more prepared, because my mom she didn't want to have a sex conversation. She didn't want to talk about real life. We was always talking about surface things, and I used to ask her, why you can't talk about, when I met Jareen would tell me about real life, and I started to believe my mom kept that illusion, because she didn't want me to feel like her and my dad marriage wasn't a perfect marriage. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She kept the illusion because she wanted me to. This is the wife, the kids, and I'm starting to believe she didn't want me to see her in a bad light. And in a bad light. Like, this shit is hard. And I used to tell her, why don't you just divorce his ass? And she would say, well, that's my husband. And I said, I would divorce his ass and take all his damn money. I did say that a couple times.
I used to tell my mama that. I didn't tell her, but I used to think all the time, like, when the fuck are we leaving? When?
Yeah. And so
I hope
so
you pack the shit. We need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and I used to tell my mom, I said, you know, we live in California. You can get half of his shit. And you've been married almost 40-some years. I said, I got half of
you gonna be all right.
Yeah, but I used to say that to her. I said, you can take half of his shit. You know, you've been married for almost 40 years. And she would always say, that's the head of my household. That's my husband. But it is. I'm got a little emotional, girl. I ain't playing to get emotional. But this is Andrea Lynch.
She was what they call, huh?
This is the let me reintroduce myself. Well, go ahead.
Let me reintroduce myself.
Let me reintroduce myself.
No, I said she was in it. I remember me and Fred went to our marriage counseling to the priest before we got married, and we had to do the marriage counseling. And I remember he talked about, being committed, right? And not about being committed to each other, but more so being committed to the fact that we were making a commitment, that we're not always going to be, giddy and in love and, skipping through the Tufaro and smelling daisies. It's not going to always be great. And in those times when it's not great, you stay committed to the commitment that you made. You got to remember that I made a commitment to stick with this person through thick and thin, for better or for worse, for richer, for poor, for all the things, right? And it's not for everybody. It's like, that's why I say when people have conversations about, if your man cheated or if your woman cheated, would you stay? Would you do this? Would you do that? You don't know what you would do until you're living it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because every single circumstance plays a part in whatever decision that you make. You know what I mean? Every single thing. How long you've been married, what kind of assets you have together, whether or not you have kids together, whether or not your families are intertwined. That's one of the reasons why they say that people who have family support, right, which made me feel bad for you guys too, because one thing you didn't have, because your parents weren't supportive of the marriage, y'all didn't have a cohesive family unit where y'all had support on both ends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when there were things that were breaking down, y'all didn't have family support that was like pushing you back together, like, hey, you better listen to her, Ronnie, and listen to what she's saying. Hey, daughter, you better listen to what your man is saying. Y'all got to learn how to communicate. Y'all got to learn how to be married. You got to not give up right in the beginning and just throw your hands up and want to quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you don't have that, it's like you just out there, for whatever to happen. And when you don't have that long-term, foundation, that's why I say, to me, one of the biggest travesties is that Ronnie should have listened to you. When you said, I want to wait 2 years to have kids, he should have listened. That was a moment for him to be submissive, and he wasn't. And he pushed his idea about family and marriage onto you, which meant get married, have kids, right? Quit real quick and in that order, get married, have kids. He pushed that on. He pushed that onto you, right? And because you was kind of taught that being submissive once you have a husband was the way to go, and that he's going to take care of everything and you should trust him, right? Against your own judgment, you trusted him. And when it got hard, he fucking bailed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it got hard, he jumped ship. And so that, and so it's no wonder you were as mad as you were, or like you were, because what you were fighting with was that I knew I should have trusted myself. I knew I wouldn't be as upset and angry and in this position if I had not had children and I was out here by myself with 2 children. If this had happened and it was just me and him and we had decided we ain't working out,
yeah,
I'd have cut my losses and pieced out.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? He'd have helped you get on your feet. He'd have paid you some alimony for a couple years to help you get on your feet, which you probably wouldn't have even needed for that long because you had a business, right? Wasn't like you didn't work. Wasn't like you didn't go to school and get ECE units to be able to work at child cares and have your own daycare and all that stuff. So you probably wouldn't even need it that long. You would have picked up and you would have had your own life, got your own place, and been a young, single, Black female out here turning up.
Yeah.
But instead, you went against your better judgment in order to be submissive and trust your husband, right? And you didn't listen to your gut, and he didn't listen either to your. He didn't listen to your fears. He didn't listen to your, your opinion. He wasn't submissive to you in that moment because he should have digressed to you. It was your life that was going to change hella drastically.
And this what I wanted to do. I really wanted us to travel. I'm like, dude, we free. We ain't got our parents. I want to travel. Let's do some things.
I remember.
And I wanted to travel because I'm I felt like my parents was keeping me back. And I be looking at them geographic books like Atlanta, Washington D.C. It's planes. I have a bucket list of things I want to do, and you already know I be dragging you everywhere I want to go too. So I want to travel, but he didn't. He was like, we need to have kids. I'm like, wait, I'm just 22. You just 25. We got a whole life to have kids. And
why?
Yeah, I'm like, we got a whole, and then they 14 months apart, and like it's like having twins. So I was like, we got our whole life, but and in a sense, even though I had the kids, I still feel like God let me. When I used to say He punished me, I still feel like God let me travel because now that He has the kids and the courts, with the everywhere weekend, and He has it. If I go out of town, He has the kids. I go out of town. I was still able to travel and still be able to see the world, even though I'm divorced. And so I did. So I still feel like I got the good end of the stick. So I was still able to do things that I want to do. I'm still a mother too, but I can honestly say, now. Yes, I should have waited to have kids, but Veronica and Quentin gave me stability. They kept me. They kept me. Not because I didn't. No. I know what you're saying, but
I brought that up not because I didn't think you should have kids. I brought that up because I thought that that it was one of those times when this is how women learn not to trust themselves. This is how women learn not to trust their gut and trust their own instincts, right? Is when you have an instinct, you don't trust it, you go with somebody else's thing, and then it backfires on you, and you're the one suffering. Right there in that moment says you can't trust yourself. You're judge. You can't trust yourself. You know what I'm saying? And because you didn't stick with your plan. You didn't stick with what you wanted, and you didn't fight hard enough for what you wanted. So I just brought it up in that context because I bring up the fact that you should really be able to see how much you can trust yourself, right? Because you were the one in that situation in a way who knew better. You were the one who were saying, I'm not ready. And he wasn't hearing you say, I'm not ready. He was hearing you say, let's wait, because I'm sure you didn't say, I'm not ready to have kids because you didn't want him to think that you didn't, like you knew he wanted them. You didn't want him to think you didn't want them. So you didn't want to say, I'm not ready to have kids. But it was like, oh, well, why don't we do this first and do this first? And so he felt comfortable saying, no, I don't want to do that. I want to have babies. I want to have kids. We're getting older and we should have kids now. And it was like, and it just made you suppress your own instincts. It just made you push it down. And it's like, if I had known you then, I'd have been
it did make me want to know, did I really know who I was? And did I not? I questioned myself. Did I not? Should I wait? I should have waited with these kids. I knew that, but it did make me question, like, maybe I wasn't assertive myself as I should have. You know, I didn't have a voice. I should have said, I don't want no kids right now. Period. I want to travel. But I was saying, let's do something.
My body. We got our whole lives to have kids. It's my freaking body. You're not gonna tell me I'm a cold motherfucker. I would have went and got some birth control. That motherfucker would have never knew. I don't know why I'm not getting pregnant. I have no idea. You want to go to Tahoe? I don't know why I'm not getting pregnant. You want to go to the Bahamas? I have no idea. Maybe if we go to Jamaica, I'll get pregnant there. I would have been on birth control until I was ready to have kids.
I tell women now, I say, if you don't want if you get married, you want no kids, you want to travel, tell him how you feel. Tell him you want kids later on. Don't do what I did. Right. Don't suppress who you are.
Right.
Be and say, look.
Because maybe you wouldn't have waited 2 years. Maybe you'd have been a year in and you'd have been like, okay, you know what? I'm ready now. Like, at the time
I knew him, but it's a whole different ball game when you live with the person, you have sex with the person, you gotta cook it clean, you gotta iron his clothes. You know the man, thank you, and you know he like all his clothes ironed for the week. Because he won old school. He want all his clothes ironed for the week. So who was ironing them clothes? Me was. So I'm like, this is a lot of work. I was into the game the first 2 weeks of marriage. I said, oh, jeez, it's a lot of work. You want clothes iron, you want to cook and clean, you want a house clean.
This is more work than being at my mom and daddy house.
Yeah, all I do is do the damn dishes. I'm like, and I say this, I say this before you get married to somebody. Woo, you might live with them a couple months. Know who the hell they really is, because you need to see what they were crying for you.
I mean, like, even if you get engaged, okay, you can wait till you get engaged. And live with them if you want to. Like, if you feel like, I don't want them to get the milk for free. What is it? I don't want them to get the milk for free. Okay, wait till he proposes and you get the ring and y'all planning a wedding. But I need to live with you before we walk down this aisle, though. I need to see, like how real talks.
My parents like stacking up. Okay, let's shack up. Because we need to see. Let's shack up, because we need to see. And that cooking, that cleaning. I'm working a full-time job. He want his clothes ironed for the week. What the hell I'm gonna do all this shit? And he want his clothes in a press.
That's a shame. I feel so robbed. I love to do all of that. I did all that for Fred, and he was like, "Girl, don't nobody need all that."
Okay, but the thing is,
he don't care everything. He don't care that I cater to his every need. I do all the laundry. I iron all his clothes. I make sure he doesn't have to do anything but go to work. And he just don't love me because he don't understand that I'm going through all this trouble to cater to him. And Fred was like, I don't need nobody to cater to me. I can do my own laundry. It was like, I can make my own waffles. I don't need you to make nothing for me. I used to be like, so what you saying? You don't even need me?
So what I'm saying is, that was a lot. And so, he from the old school. He wanted press. He wants spray starch on it. And that was a lot. Woo! That was a lot. So I say
that old school starch.
That old school starch. So I say that was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. And
you want that hard crease in his slacks.
Mm-hmm. So this is the real Andrea. People think they know me and they have no idea who I am. Andrea. This is the real Andrea. So this has been a great live, everybody.
Either. Hello, real Andrea. How you doing? It's nice to meet you.
Well, I think 'cause they
That's
saying I'm the angry black woman. I trust and believe. Have I been one? Yes, I have. Have I been a bad baby mama? Yes, I have. Have I been a bad ex-wife? Yes, I have. Why do you think I know these stories? Because it happened to me. But I can honestly say, women, let's
she.
let's 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 try to work it out. Let's try to co-parent a little better. Let's try to
Let's do a
forgive. Let's do that. When what somebody
do a
say,
little bit better tomorrow. We
yes.
did.
When you know better, what you do? You do better.
You do.
You do better. So we Cali till we die. Shout out to
Because
Derek.
once you know, you can't go back to not knowing. Dre used
Yes.
to hate when I said that. When I used
Oh
to
yeah,
say,
I
Dre,
said
once you
that
know, you
bullshit.
can't go back to not knowing. Dre used to be like, well, stop telling me shit then. I want to be in it. Stop saying shit.
Okay, for
I
real.
don't want to know none of that. I'm still mad right now.
For real. I did. I said, look, I'm not gonna be friends because you don't understand. I'm tired of talking to you about this. And he was like, Drea, I understand. I said, girl, you don't understand. You got a husband over there taking care of you, provide. You ain't gotta work if you want to. How you understand me? I remember I told you that. I said, how the hell you understand where I'm coming from? You got a husband over there.
I'm so happy and I feel so blessed that I have been able to be present as you start to blossom and as the seeds that were planted over 2 decades ago between us are starting to blossom and you starting to open up to being the woman that I saw you as when I met you 20 years ago. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
It's a beautiful thing, my sister, because I'm a little hard-headed.
So keep facing towards the sun.
Y'all say I'm hard-headed. Y'all say I'm stubborn. I take that. Yes, I am. And even though we argue,
I'm more stubborn.
Yes, you are. And ruthless a little bit.
That's why you like that's why you like me, because I'm more stubborn.
Yeah.
If Drea thinks she's stubborn, but I'm more stubborn. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah.
Because I don't give up. What I used to tell the kids at the home, you think that you can outlast me?
Yeah.
You're sadly mistaken. You can't outlast me.
And so
you know what I'm saying? Drea have tried everything she could to run me off. Drea have tried to get rid of me a million times. She have tested every single emotion that I've ever known to exist.
Okay, so I think I have this point. The people who I'm friends with, the people who love me and I love me, I always feel like I have to test to make sure they my friend. And I think that it comes, especially when it comes to women, because I have had women in my life betray me and hurt me. So I am going to test pretty much anybody who's in my life. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing, but it's sometimes when you push somebody too far,
it's just what
it's just what it is. So, that's just the way I am.
I never had a problem because I understood. I can pay attention to the situation and read the scene and understand where it comes from. I never had a problem. Only problem I ever had was, how long is it gonna take for me to prove to this woman that I really got her back? What am I gonna have to do?
I at this point, I thank you for not giving up on me. I thank you for knowing what kind of friend I am. I thank you for knowing that, even through all the hurt and pain, I'm just a country girl, from California till we die.
From North Carolina.
From North Carolina. Yeah. So
girl from North Carolina.
From North Carolina.
She transplanted
California.
She a North Carolina flower replanted in Cali.
Yep. Okay, well, I love you, Erica. I'm gonna sign off. I hope I know how to do this
All
right. Talk to you later. Make sure I do
All you got
this.
to do is say your goodbyes and press the end button in the top right hand corner, the little red counter up there.
The end, but leave the studio.
Isn't it a red button that says live? Isn't it a red thing that says live and it's counting?
Okay, hold on, man. I can't see. You know what? Yes, it's in the broadcast. Okay, I got it, girl.
There you go. Yes. All you